the recipient of the Anugerah Presiden 2017 is none other than Yang Berbahagia Dato Gumuri Hussain. Congratulations, Dato. Before we present the award to Dato Gumuri, let me first share some insights into his background and contribution. Dato Gumuri hails from the East Coast and was born in Mentakat, Pahang on January 4, 1947. He started his primary education in St. John's Primary School in Mentakat, and then he went on to Abu Bakar Secondary School in Termolo to complete his Form 5. And he did his Form 6 in Sultan Abu Bakar Secondary School in Kuantan. And while I was chatting with Dato Gumuri, he was telling me at that time, when he was in the East Coast, he haven't heard of accountancy as a career then. But times have changed. Dato Gumuri pursued his professional qualification with the Institute of Chartered Accountants, England and Wales, and is now a fellow of the Institute. He became a member of the Malaysian Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Malaysian Institute of Accountants following his qualification. And Dato Gumuri began his career with Youngs and Co. It was a long way back in Kuala Lumpur in 1967. He moved to London where he joined Vinay Meret's Chartered Accountants in 1969, and he stayed there until 1974 before he joined Stephen Morse and Co. And Dato came back to Malaysia in 1975, and he joined Pricewaterhouse Malaysia in Kuala Lumpur as a qualified assistant. And a few years later, he was seconded by Pricewaterhouse to London as an audit manager in 1978. He was there until 1980. And Dato Gumuri worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers until he retired as a senior partner of the firm and Deputy Chairman of the Governance Board of PricewaterhouseCoopers Malaysia. He held a post until his retirement in 2002. And in 2002, Dato took charge of Penerbangan Malaysia Berhad, PMB, as its Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer until 2004. He also served as non-executive director of a list of public companies, including Malaysian Airlines System Berhad, Sabah Bank Berhad, Bank Industry and Technology Malaysia Berhad, Media Prima, Metro Holdings, KUB Malaysia, Punya Setia, Rangkaian Hotel Street Malaysia Berhad. Let us have a look at some of Dato's greatest achievements and fondest memories while at PMB. You look so much younger then. And in 2005, Dato Gumuri served as chairman of SME Bank until 2013 and went on to lead the bank to greater heights. The pictures you see tell tales of his success at the bank. Ladies and gentlemen, Dato Gumuri commenced his work with the Securities Commission Malaysia in 2004 as a board member, a role he held until 2016. He was also a board member of the Audit Oversight Board from 2010 to 2016. Dato Gumuri was appointed by the Securities Commission as Executive Chairman of the Audit Oversight Board in November 2016. He was also appointed as board member of the Financial Reporting Foundation in January 2017. Now, we take you through his involvement in MICPA. He was admitted as a member in 1975, and he was then elected to the MICPA Council in 1994, where he served as council member until 2004. Very long time, more than 10 years ago. He was also chairman of MICPA's Administrative and Financial Affairs Committee from June 1997 to June 2004. And it was during his tenure as chairman of this committee that he spearheaded the change of the institute's name from Malaysian Association of Certified Public Accountants to Malaysian Institute of Certified Public Accountants. Well, earlier on, a guest of honor asked about, is it MICPA or MICPA? Yeah, the answer is we have changed from MACPA to MICPA, and it was the idea of Dato Gumuri then. And the name change was approved at the Institute's AGM, and the Institute officially changed its name on January 29, 2002. Over the many years of being in the profession, it is without a doubt that Dato Gumuri has greatly contributed to the profession. One such contribution was the formation of the Audit Oversight Board in 2010 during his tenure as a board member of the Securities Commission. Ladies and gentlemen, Dato Gumuri is a devoted husband, father, and grandfather. He's married to Datin Maimun Shafi, who is with us here tonight. Let us all give Datin a round of applause for all the support he has given to Dato while Dato is contributing to the accounting profession. They have been blessed with 2 daughters, 5 sons, 1 grandson, 1 granddaughter, 2 daughters-in-law, and 1 son-in-law. All the children are professionals in their own right, with 1 daughter in corporate communication, 2 sons ventured into automotive engineering, and 1 son went into hotel management. 2 sons seem to have taken after Dato, with 1 in accounting and finance, and another an undergraduate in banking and finance. They must have got advice from Dato to go into accounting and finance and hopefully in the accountancy. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to invite our guest of honor, Yang Berhormat Dato Seri Johari, and also Yang Berbahagia Dato Gumuri Hussain, the MICPA's 2017 Anugerah Presiden recipient, to join me on stage.
Dato Johari bin Ghani, Minister of Finance too, Mr. Theng, Hooi, President, National Institute of Certified Public Accountants, council members of the Institute, Chancellor, Consul Dato, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good evening. It is a great honor for me to be standing in front of my fellow professionals to be awarded the Anugerah Presiden and to be included on the list of esteemed members of the Institute who have received this award in the past. I'm not going to talk anything technical or anything difficult, but I'm going to tell you a story of my journey, how I get inducted into the accounting profession. I might not have come this far had it not been for a major disappointment that happened to me 50 years ago. Yes, that is half a century. Now you know how old I really am. It was in 1967, after receiving my HSC result, I applied for a place in the engineering faculty in the University of Malaya. I think the only university at that time in Malaysia. I was a science graduate, I was a science student. And my ambition was to become a civil engineer. I was not successful. Instead, I was offered a place to do Bachelor of Science in Physics. As for what's wrong with that, one might say. Many great men like Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein, Stephen Hawking, for example, were men of physics. In my thinking, at the time, the only practical outcome of this career-wise was I would end up as a teacher. Nothing wrong with that either. It is a noble profession. Let's not make a mistake with that. But I was not cut to be one. I worked for 2 months as a temporary teacher while waiting for my HSC result. And I found out that I lacked the skill and passion to be a teacher, and only successful in making both me and the children of the class miserable. In the gloom that followed, and in trying to decide what I should do with my life, I chanced upon a small advertisement in the New Six Times newspaper. It is just about the size of a classified act. So it's really, if I don't happen to look on the particular page, I would miss it, and I wouldn't be here standing in front of you. The advertisement stated something like, an international firm of accountants have vacancies for audit trainees. Article or clerkship will be offered to successful candidates leading to a professional qualification with Malaysian Association of Certified Public Accountants, no less. applicant must have good grades in school certificate, high school certificate, and the applicant was asked to apply to a PO box number. But to me, it turned out to be a game changer. I applied and was called for an interview by a firm called Theng. I found out that Theng was the biggest audit firm in town at that time. The clients were blue chip British companies like Sundabi, Harrison Cold Storage, Anglo Oriental, and so forth. Later, it became one of the predecessor firms of EY. I'm sure that Rahul will agree with me on that. I was offered a position as an article clerk with princely sum of 275 ringgit per month as a salary. It's not a sum to be laughed at actually. I mean, as a student, I think it's more than a scholarship that you get to enroll in a university. So it's really quite a dilemma for me. If I join a university, I might have to go and look around for scholarship. But here, it is a training which eventually lead to a qualification, and it is self-funding. So, in the end, I accepted the offer, and my first assignment was in Nestle, which had its head office in Brickfield at that time. I was asked to see Encik Hassan, the audit senior there. I was brought to a large porch room with a thick carpet, with leather-bound chairs arranged neatly around large polished oval-shaped table. I was told later I was in the boardroom. Sitting at the end of the table was a young, serious-looking, bespectacled person, not more than 25 years of age. The first thing he said was that he was expecting me. He pointed out to a very thick book on the table, not far from where he sat, and asked me to do casting. Okay, I said, but what is casting? He said you check the addition, subtraction on every page of the book. I picked up the book. It was about 2 kilos in weight, 1 foot by 1 foot in size, and about 6 inches thick. It marked Journal Ledger on the front cover, and I learned that this was Kalimazoo loose leaf ledger. For those who came from my era would know this. I held the book in my arm. I was totally impressed, especially I'm sitting in a very nice surrounding, and I felt very important at that time. And I told myself, this could well be the profession for me. The rest, as I said, is history. The audit senior, Encik Hassan, became my sifu. He was the first person to teach me about the beauty and intricacies of double entry. And he went on to do great things in life, but contributed immensely to the MICPA and the accounting profession. He became the president of MICPA from 1984 to 1986, and also become the second recipient of Anugerah Presiden in 2003. He's none other than Datuk Abu Hassan Pendo. If you are around in this building, sir, I want to thank you very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I wholeheartedly and humbly accept this award. Words cannot do justice to my gratitude and appreciation to MICPA, in particular, Mr. Theng Hooi, the President, the ESCO, and the Council members of the Institute, for finding me worthy of recognition of this magnitude. With this award, it also enabled me to put a closure to the disappointment that happened to me 50 years ago. Allah is great. We plan our life, but Allah will decide what is best for you. Thank you.